So that might have been my bad when I was going into the app. So why might you want to limit the throttle? And I'm kind of curious to see if it is also speed limited. Whether you're using the torque or cadence sensor, I think most people are going to be able to hit the top speed. Heybike is perhaps best known for their super affordable and powerful folding bike models, but today we have something different. This is their commuter / cruiser e-bike. It's relatively lightweight, it's meant to be accessible, and if paint colors mean anything, you can kind of get an idea of who this is catered towards. Other cool features include this integrated horn, and there's lights built right into the frame of the bike. In this review, I'll walk you through everything you need to know. Then we'll get into some first-person riding footage. We'll see if this bike is as high performance as some of their cheaper folding models, and then I'll wrap things up with the pros and cons. But first, let's take a closer look. Heybike has been in the e-bike industry for a number of years. We've reviewed several of their models, and with the Venus, they're tackling really a mid-tier price point. The Venus currently comes in at $14.99, though you can check up-to-date pricing down in the description. Also, if you decide to make a purchase with Heybike, it helps us out at no additional cost to you. Or scan the QR code on your screen. The Venus has a max payload capacity of 350 pounds and weighs in at just under 57 pounds with the battery, and without just under 49 pounds. They say it can accommodate riders all the way down to 4'11" up to 6'2". I'm 6 feet tall with a 32-inch inseam, and I'd perhaps lift the seat up a little bit more if I could. My wife is 5'5". It comes in 3 different colors. I really appreciate the low standover height, as well as the swept back handlebars, and that adjustable stem puts you in a nice upright riding position. You get unbranded hydraulic disc brakes paired with 180mm rotors front and rear. It's a quick release front axle. The street tires come from Kenda, 27.5 by 2.2 inches wide, reflective sidewall. The metal fenders, front and rear. The rear rack has a 66-pound max payload capacity. There's mounting points on the rigid front fork. That decision, of course, intentional to help keep weight down. 4 mounting points on the head tube for a front rack. Cables go into the stem. There's hydraulic disc brake levers with motor cutoffs. Ergonomic locking rubber grips. A left-hand thumb throttle, and Shimano's 8-speed trigger shifter. To turn the bike on, power button on the bottom. You have battery capacity, current speed, odometer. Hit the M button to cycle through different information. Trip, max speed, average speed, voltage, trip time, and back to odometer. You have pedal assist levels 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can turn the lights on by holding pedal assist up. Indicator at the top of the screen. Engage walk mode by holding pedal assist down. This is your horn button. And then you have turn signals, left and right. Hit it again to turn it off. To switch between the cadence sensor or the torque sensor, hold the M button. When you see the bike icon, that means the cadence sensor is on, and without the bike, the torque sensor is on. There's a USB-C port for charging your device underneath the display. And finally, worth noting is there is a Heybike app if you want to check it out. The front light runs off the main battery, attaches to the stem plate. The rear light is a running light, but when you pull the brakes, it does go brighter. And then you have turn signals built right into the frame, left and right. There's 2 mounting points on the seat tube for perhaps a folding lock or a water bottle cage. The battery enters from the top. There is a cover that is separate from the battery. Keys enter on the right side, turn to the right to release. And then there's a separate catch. Pull that down and you can lift up. The battery is 48 volt, 14.2 amp hours, 680 watt hours. Has a nice handle. There's a power button to give you an idea of the current charge. And that battery fits perfectly in our battery bag. Sold at shop.ebikescape.com. This bag is waterproof and flame resistant. Treat yourself to some high quality e-bike accessories at shop.ebikescape.com. Thank you so much for your support. You get a 2 amp charger, so about 7 hours to charge the battery up from empty. The port is on this side, and there's a rubber cover in case you want to charge the battery while it's in the bike. To put the battery back in, terminals first, line up the catch, snap into place, and don't forget your cover. The battery is certified to UL2271. The entire bike's electronics are certified to UL2849. UL sticker right on the frame. You get plastic pedals with grip tape, a rear-mounted kickstand, basic saddle. It's a 750 watt motor with 70 newton meters of torque. The derailleur is Shimano Altus, 8 speeds, 11 to 32 teeth in the rear, and in the front, a 48 tooth front chainring. With that, let's get into some first-person riding footage and see how the bike performs. All right, I am really going to be embracing this pink colored bike. We'll see if I get any comments on it, but I do have that horn, which is nice. Let's start with throttle only. It is tied to the pedal assist level, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but throttle up to 20, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Gentle takeoff for a little bit, and then 15, 17, and there's 23, 25, up a slight hill, 26, and there is 27 miles an hour on throttle alone. Now within the app, I can change it to 20, so let's do that. And also, you can turn off the throttle speed limiter. Let's actually do that as well. And as you'll see in a second, these pedal assist levels do coincide with the top speed, and you can customize that within the app. All right, now I can be in pedal assist level 1, throttle only. And there's 20 miles an hour. That's what it should have done. I was playing with the settings a little bit, so that might have been my bad when I was going into the app. So you can set this as a class 2 e-bike. Now something I do like is that throttle speed limiter. I just want to show off what that means. So I just turned it on, and now in pedal assist level 1, it's just going to take me to the top speed of pedal assist level 1. So cruising at 7 miles an hour. So why might you want to limit the throttle? Well, on these thumb throttles, this is pretty much across the board. They're pretty hard to modulate, which means if your throttle limiter is turned off or the bike just doesn't have that functionality, you're just going to 20. That's just how it is. I mean, of course you can let go, but it's hard to hold it at a speed. And with the limiter turned on, you have kind of presets, if you will. So 7 miles an hour in pedal assist level 1, went to pedal assist level 2, looks like maybe 11 miles an hour. So that's a nice accessibility thing, something I actually really like. All right, I did go ahead and reset to the default. So the default mode is boost, but they also have standard in case you want to turn it down. And we are going to leave the top speed at 20 miles per hour because that coincides with the top speed of all those pedal assist levels. And we are going to hot swap into cadence base mode. That's the easier mode. What a cadence sensor does is it simply determines whether you're pedaling or not. If you're pedaling, it will give you motor power, of course, depending on the pedal assist level. And in pedal assist level 1, the motor is stopping at around 9 miles an hour, 10. Good shift down a little bit here. Now the difference between the cadence and the torque sensor is, as you'll see in a second, the torque sensor will respond to my pedal input. But because this is speed limited, I'm just going at 9 or 10 miles an hour in pedal assist level 1. Let's go into 2. It kind of quickly gets you up to whatever you have that set speed as. Again, you can customize it. Let's shift up to 4th gear. Looks like 13 miles an hour, and I can see that I'm not getting any power from that motor. Let's go into pedal assist level 3. And again, these are kind of evenly spaced out. So 14 miles an hour now. Let's go up again. Pedal assist level 4. Shift up, 5th gear. Looks like 17, 18 miles an hour. And then pedal assist level 5 is going to be the 20 mile per hour top speed as it comes shipped. GPS reading at 19. All right, now I'm going to go into the settings. We'll change the top speed to 28 miles per hour. And now it's 14, 18, 21, 25, and 28 miles per hour for each pedal assist level. Pedal assist 5, it's about a half turn, maybe a little bit more for the cadence sensor to engage. And then, not surprisingly, it just ramps in the power. We'll see if we get any faster than 26, which is what we saw before. Display reading 27, and it looks like that's about it. Similar to the Throttle-Only when it was overridden. All right, now let's talk about the torque sensor. And I'm kind of curious to see if it is also speed limited. We'll go down to pedal assist level 1, second gear, third gear. Now, those top speeds are a little bit higher because the top speed is set to 28 miles per hour. I would say it is extremely easy to hit 14 miles an hour with the torque sensor on. In fact, pushing harder because of the speed limiter, I'm actually not going to get any more motor power. All right, pedal assist level 2, 16 miles an hour without breaking a sweat. There is some responsiveness when I pedal harder, but with the top speed and pedal assist level 2, just gently spinning my legs, again, 10 miles an hour, and then just a little bit more power. So this torque sensor is tuned in such a way to give you power very easy. I don't know if that's intentional. Let's go into pedal assist level 3. All right, 18 miles an hour, super easy. I think if you put a lot of people on this bike, they would think that this feels like a Cadence sensor experience. Maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. All right, pedal assist level 3, 20 miles an hour, not a problem. And again, that's the max speed in pedal assist level 3. Let's go into pedal assist level 4. I'll shift up to 7th gear, 24. We'll stop here. And pedal assist level 5. So the only way I really know this is a torque sensor is that I'm in 7th gear right now and just barely spinning my legs, and I'm cruising at 13 miles an hour. But just a tiny bit of extra power from my legs. We're basically getting full motor power, and we'll see what the top speed is here. There's 24, 26, and 27. So this bike, it doesn't matter whether you're using the torque or cadence sensor. I think most people are going to be able to hit the top speed. But let's see how this motor does up our large hill climb test. All right, I am curious what this bike can do up our large hill. It looks so much smaller on the GoPro, so we'll put the specs of the hill on the screen. And we did get up to 20 miles per hour. Let's talk briefly about comfort as well as the fenders rattle a little bit. Also, they're kind of a pain to install, so if you end up opting for those, you might want to have a bike shop install the fenders and the rear rack. 10 miles an hour. Love the swept-back handlebars, adjustable stem. It's a very familiar upright riding position that many enjoy. The seat actually feels pretty good too. 10 miles an hour, which is pretty good, 9 for second. All right, this motor had no problem getting us to the top. Let's do a quick brake test around 20 miles an hour. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. All right, locking up the tire. These hydraulic disc brakes feel good. Yes, unbranded, but they will stop you. All right, I'm going to leave it in torque sensor mode because I have some high confidence with this torque sensor that it will take me up this hill no problem while pedaling. We will go down to pedal assist level 1, 5 miles an hour. All right, let's go into pedal assist level 2. Maybe I will need to switch over to the cadence sensor. Pedal assist level 3. All right, there we go. In first gear, not putting in a ton of effort and cruising up at 7 miles an hour. Pedal assist level 4. And if I put in more leg power, of course, I'm going to get more power from the motor. So I can tell more so this is a torque sensor on hills. I went into pedal assist level 5, cruising up at 7 miles an hour. And then here we go. If I just hold the M button, we can switch to the cadence sensor. The motor cut off for just a second. And that will just guarantee that I'm getting full motor power, or you can just use that throttle, of course. All right, so maybe it is nice to have that cadence sensor after all for hills. With that, Let's get into some third-person riding footage. I'll give you my concluding thoughts on the Heybike Venus. Heybike Venus brings a lot of the modern features we've come to expect from the big brands lately. But is it the perfect commuter? That really depends on your specific preferences, which I'll get into. But first, let's talk about what makes this bike stand out. At this point, step-through frames, swept-back handlebars, and adjustable stems are the industry standard, or at least most brands have a model with these features. The Venus sticks to a rigid front fork to help keep the weight down, so the DNA of this bike is very familiar. If you're looking specifically at Heybike's fleet, this is a great option if you want something a little bit lighter and easier to manage. Just keep in mind this frame is definitely geared towards shorter riders. At 6 feet tall, I was at the very top end of the height range. If you're any taller than me, you're likely going to struggle to get full leg extension. At $14.99, Heybike is sneaking in just below the price point of some of its main competitors. And keep in mind, we do have a discount code to save you an additional $100 off that. The motor felt plenty powerful during our hill climb test, and I love that we're seeing more bikes like this one give you the ability to swap between a torque and a cadence sensor. I'm also a fan of the top load battery because it's just easier to remove and replace. It does come with a separate battery cover. Having a cover is just one more thing to worry about, but I think many riders will still prefer that over a battery that loads from the bottom of the frame. The drivetrain is what we usually see at this level, a Shimano Altus with a trigger shifter. The unbranded brakes performed just fine, and the built-in horn and turn signals are always a welcome addition for commuting. The display is relatively basic, though the app does allow for some decent customization. One thing I'd like to see them change is the speed control. Right now, the top speed setting in the app controls both your pedal assist and your throttle top speed. I'd much rather see these broken out into individual settings. Keep in mind the fenders and the rear rack aren't included, and yes, they do add to the weight. That's an extra $84 to add to the cost, but beyond the price, I honestly thought they were a pain to install. It was the rear fender in particular. It attaches to both the rack and the frame, and I actually had to fish out the rear light cable out from the controller. It was an ordeal. I definitely recommend paying a bike shop to handle that part. Regarding the sensor tuning, I would have liked to see more distinction between the torque and cadence modes. Personally, I'd prefer the torque sensor to require a bit more leg effort to hit those top speeds. You can actually go into the app settings and play with these parameters, standard and boost, but I would like to see more differentiation between these two. And because this bike has both sensors, I think the cadence sensor can be really reserved for riders who want to get that full power out, though it's a personal preference. Since this e-bike prioritizes being lightweight like many other e-bikes like it, riders looking for more comfort should definitely consider adding a suspension seat post to help soak up the bumps. If you plan to make a purchase with Heybike, check out our link down in the description or scan the QR code on your screen, and remember our discount code as well. Thank you so much for your support. The Venus is a solid addition to the Heybike lineup, especially if the weight and step-through design are high on your list. But I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think of the Venus down in the comment section, and we'll see you in the next one.